What's going on, everyone? So in today's video, we're gonna go over the fact that today was
just payday.
You guys must have thought that this was a game. You guys must have thought, oh, he's just making YouTube videos. He's gonna start charging a month for his subscription, blah, blah, blah. No, when I told you it's completely for free, ask any of these guys, right here, how much they're being charged a month. Zilch. For what? 6 out of 7 bangers. Banger plays. 32%, 8%, 33%, 30, 20, 23, and then a 4% loss. All right? Ask them how much they're being charged. Nothing. I told you guys I'm doing this completely for free. This is exactly what I'm doing. Look at... All right, look. This guy made $14,000. This guy was up $6,000. This guy's up 1,000. This guy made 3,000 off of these plays. Hundreds. Few more hundreds. Thousands. More plays. All completely for free. Another 5,000 off these NVIDIA calls. Guys, I'm giving all of these plays out absolutely, completely for free. I don't do this for... I told you guys, I'm here to help. I told you guys I'm here to change the game. I actually do this. I'm actually a very, very good trader. And you can go and click the link in the description of the video. You could go to all of these channels. You could go to the Profit and Losses channel. And you'll see all of this. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Especially given the fact that it's a completely free server. You don't lose anything from joining. So go ahead and do that. Had a pretty good day in the trading world. And I hope you guys join as well, and it'd be great. Anyway, so there's that for that. In today's video, we're going to go over the SPY, the IWM, the NASDAQ, the 30-year bond, the crypto market, and large tech stocks. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with the video. So number one, before I continue and begin with the SPY, actually, I want to go over the VIX. So the VIX, this is the second day in a row that the VIX closed outside of the lower level of the Bollinger Band. Now, back in November 2019, the VIX had 3 days where it closed outside of the lower level of the Bollinger Band, and then that is when the SPY ended up falling. So, today overnight, so essentially, this is the second day, right? And now, on the SPY, right, today overnight, we're holding, basically, Lotto puts on the SPY and the IWM, and we're holding on to April 1st QQQ puts, I believe, right? So the reason for that is because we are clearly not in an uptrend anymore on any of these stocks, all right? So for the SPY to maintain above this uptrend, technically we did close basically right above, we basically closed right at the trend line. Okay, but now for tomorrow, to maintain this ridiculous uptrend, we need to close above for literally this exact line right here. We need to close above 450, 450.35. Is that going to happen tomorrow? I doubt it. So that's why it made sense to also go short again. So similar to what we were doing the day before, we went short. That ended up working really, really well overnight. And it also worked well. We bought into more puts during the day. That worked out really well as well. So, same concept. The VIX maximum, I've never seen the VIX be outside of the lower level of the Bollinger Band for more than 3 days in a row. So, I'm assuming even if the market does go up higher tomorrow, again, we're going to day trade calls. Completely fine. But then we're going to swing puts. And essentially, the odds are in our favor for the market to fall. So that is essentially my analysis for the SPY. Really, tomorrow, you know, today, 443.38 was a very, very important level. If we can break down below that level, close down below this level, and essentially, I would really like if the SPY came back and retested 440. Things are very, very overextended still, so we do need a bit of a cool down period. That would be completely normal. So essentially, that's my thesis and my analysis for the SPY. Pretty simple. All right. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the IWM, which has a much clearer break of the uptrend. All right. So this is a chart of the IWM. Clearly, we broke the uptrend, much simpler and cleaner, right, than the SPY. So we closed outside of it, right? And now, like, the next downward target, especially since the IWM was the most strong since this rally began, right? The downward target would essentially be below 203.75, and then a nice tap of this 50 simple moving average, even potentially 201.50, would be really, really good. And essentially, that's what I really want to see in the short term. We could have a bit of a downward move, retracement back down to these levels, and then a continuation upwards. But for now, it makes complete sense for the market to have a bit of a retracement period, especially since the VIX is that low, in my opinion. And the fact that we broke down the uptrend. So, yeah, there's that for the IWM. I know that the market closed very, very strongly into the close. Yes, the market could open upwards as well, and it could gap up into the open. But again, that is not healthy, in my opinion. Like, it's not a... It's just not a healthy way of movement. I mean, there needs to be some sort of a retracement. And you could argue that there was a retracement earlier into the day. But again, like, when we close, look, for the past few years, when we had an extreme uptrend like this, and we close outside of this uptrend, I have not seen it happen yet, where the market does not have a completely red day eventually. Like, yes, we could come back and retest somewhat of these highs tomorrow, right? But then it is absolutely, like, I've never seen it not break down these lows in the days coming. So this week, since this all happened, since the VIX is this overextended to the downside, and because the IWM broke down below this uptrend line, I believe the IWM as well as the NASDAQ could bring the market down this week. Not that low necessarily, right? But definitely lower than today's lows. All right, so there's that for the IWM. Let's go ahead and take a look at the large tech stocks and then the NASDAQ. Apple, clearly bullish. Spectacular. Microsoft, not that bullish. Not could have been a little bit more bullish. Could have closed above 386. Not the most bullish setup. Amazon, very similar to the IWM in that it's trading at the upper level of the Bollinger Band. So it's not like automatic. You know, there's not huge room to the upside for Amazon. And Google, not the best day. Not the best day for Google. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla. Tesla also basically closed outside of the upper level of the Bollinger Band. So that is now starting to get a bit overextended. But in strength scenarios, in extreme strength scenarios, I don't feel as comfortable just blindly shorting the upper level of the Bollinger Band. So if the SPY, the NASDAQ, the IWM start to, unless given a reason for it, I won't feel comfortable just blindly shorting. All right? I'd rather blindly long outside of the lower standard deviation than blindly short into this extreme strength. All right? But currently, you know, Tesla is clearly algorithmically overextended to the upside. And you can see that it failed at 925. So that is that, really. I mean, the only real stock that has a lot more room to the upside is Apple. You could see that it closed much more bullish. But then Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Tesla, they're basically showing that they're coming to their upper levels of resistance. All right. So really, there's that. We could go ahead and just take a look at the 30-year bonds. Let's see what's going on in the bond land. Bonds are showing clear weakness, yet the equities market closed pretty strong into the close, essentially, right? So tomorrow, I mean, this is just a really, really bearish setup at the moment for bonds. But if we continue falling, if we can close below 150, and tomorrow, if we're like down here at 149, 148, like a really, really extreme move, that should technically start to translate into the equities market. One of the things that I was saying yesterday was we needed to see a extreme move in the bonds to see relevance in the equities market. So we'll see if that correlates. But for now, it isn't really doing that. So the bonds needs to essentially break down below 150 for our puts to be profitable. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. All right, so I'm a bit more greedier for the puts. All right, so clearly we broke this uptrend and it was a really, really easy short. Right, so obviously we weren't going to break above 355 today, so we got into shorts, and these shorts and the puts and everything just really, really paid off. We can see today we closed right below this major important level of resistance, and at 350.32, and essentially this is what I would want to happen. I want the NASDAQ to come back and retest this very important trend line. From here, not only would we be very profitable on our puts, this would give, look at how beautiful a bull flag that would have created. All right, it would create a really spectacular bull flag for everyone that wants to re-long right here and then continue on higher. I think that should be the best case scenario, but I mean, necessarily I don't know if it'll ever happen that cleanly, but especially in the short term, we broke this uptrend and the VIX is very overextended to the downside. We closed right below this level of support, so we're holding on to some QQQ puts, and really the levels are going to be 347.38 and then this 342, 343 area. To the upside, I mean, the only real tech stock at the moment that can really bring the market up is Apple. So we have to keep an eye on Apple tomorrow. If Apple is showing a lot of strength, then it's going to help pull up the NASDAQ. But the rest of the tech sector, except Microsoft also. So Microsoft can start to break above 300, but Amazon, Tesla, Google didn't really show that much strength either. So it wasn't that great. But we have to keep an eye on Apple for tomorrow. All right. Overall, this isn't a bullish. I mean, it needs to just consolidate a bit more. Having another red day tomorrow wouldn't be the worst thing for this huge, massive run up recently. So again, a retest back to these levels of support would be the most ideal situation for people to get in again once more, in my opinion. And really, there's that. I mean, if we start to break back above, we're going to play longs and we're going to play calls, right? And we're going to adapt to the market. But the VIX being that overextended to the downside is a signal that the market usually reverses in the short term. All right. So please keep that in mind. There's that for the equities market. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto market. And of course, if you guys are enjoying this content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, put on post notifications, do all that good stuff. All right, so let's take a look at the crypto market. All right, so at the moment, Ethereum is showing strength. It's showing support. It's showing that it's holding support, nice green candle, right? So these altcoins and Ethereum actually is just showing a lot more strength. All right. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is not showing as much strength, but it's holding support right now because Ethereum is showing the strength. Technically, this chart of Bitcoin is not really that bullish, but the fact that we held this 40,500 level in the morning was very, very, very important for Bitcoin. So this basically, in my opinion, gave room for Ethereum to consolidate and start moving upwards while Bitcoin held support. So again, the VIX, obviously, we could have another green day tomorrow on the entire market. And this would essentially give time for Bitcoin potentially to come back and retest 42,500, maybe even break above, right? We could have a huge green day tomorrow. But then again, it would cost 3 days outside of the lower level of the B bands for the VIX. In my opinion, that would be really, really, really overextended on the equities market. But right now, just looking at this in a vacuum, this is not a really bullish candle. All right. We saw that it broke this level of support, and it's just a lone wick here. It would make sense for the next day for it to basically like form like a better bottom. This isn't like the most clean long setup, and right now it isn't also it's not the cleanest short setup. All right, so it's going to be interesting to see what the MMs do, and it's also going to be very interesting to see what Ethereum does. But currently Ethereum is showing strength. Bitcoin is neutral to bullish essentially until Ethereum makes a move. But again, like the most clean retest would be back here to these trend lines here at essentially like 40,000 and then 39,600. If we can come back and retest these levels, that would be amazing. That would be a healthy retest and then a continuation to the upside. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, go to the steps in the how to join channel, and send me a message. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Thank you.